Okay, so let's continue with this series of transitory words, right? The first two up here are tungod kay and tungod sa. And for tungod kay is just the longer form of kay. So if you already know what kay is, I'm not gonna explain tungod kay, which I shouldn't have to in this video. However, tungod sa is similar but different from tungod kay. In that tungod sa does mean because, but there is this condition. It has to have an underlying reason. So it means because, but there's an underlying reason for it. Using tungod sa implicates that there was a cause, some sort of cause that happened, and that cause was the underlying reason. So whatever causational or whatever causational event that was happening with a statement, tungod sa is going to be used instead of tungod kay. Observe with the two examples. The first example is with tungod kay, right? Nagsamad siya tungod kay wat siya nagamping sa bisikleta. Okay? Nagsamad siya tungod kay wat siya nagamping sa bisikleta. That sentence can be said the same way as nagsamad siya kay wat siya nagamping sa bisikleta. So she was injured. She was injured because she wasn't careful with the bicycle. Okay? Right? Tungod again is optional, but the formal, I guess the formal and longer way to say it is tungod kay. However, if you just say kay, it's still perfectly understood the same way. The sentence below it, however, uses tungod sa, and you will see the underlying reason of this causational event that happened. Nagsamad siya tungod sa ulan ug lapok sa dalan. Okay? Nagsamad siya tungod sa ulan ug lapok sa dalan. Sorry. So she was injured because or due to the rain and mud in the street or in the road. Okay, in the street, the road, whatever. Calzada, dalan, whatever, right? So, nagsamad siya tungod sa ulan ug lapok sa dalan. She was injured due to or because of the, right? Because of the or due to, right? So in this case, we can use either or because of the rain and mud in the street. So do you see the underlying reason? There was a cause that happened, something that caused an event to happen that made her, that made her do something with the verb. Okay. And that's what tungod sa does. So tungod kay and tungod sa, don't get those confused. Busa, this one's easy. Busa is por eso. It's the indigenous word for por eso. Now, if you already understand how to use por eso, then busa is easy for you. Okay, busa. Actually, my family uses por eso more than busa, so but they both work. They're the same. They work the same way, right? And busa expresses por eso in the same way of therefore, that's why, henceforth, consequently, or so. And with this so, it has to have a clause. So, blah, 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 blah. So, blank, blank, blank. So, blah, blah, blah. You have to have a clause after that so. The same with all of these because these are all adverbs. And these adverbs need to follow or need to have a clause that follows them or goes before them, right? Or after them, sorry. Goes after them. For example, in this sentence, mamatay siya ugma. Busa nagampo siya kang Ginoo. He will die tomorrow. Therefore, consequently, that's why, henceforth, he prayed to God. Okay? He will die tomorrow. That's why he prayed to God. He will die tomorrow. Therefore, he prayed to God. He will die tomorrow. Consequently, he prays to God. So do you see how it can also mean that? He will die tomorrow, so he's praying, or so he prays to God, or prayed to God. Okay? So it has that connotation with por eso. Okay? The next one here, the next to last one is justo. Now, justo is, I don't need to explain much for justo. The only thing I want to explain for justo is that even though it means correct, right, just or enough or sufficient, or even in the Cebuano word sakto or insakto, right, it just means correct, right? Justo, if it's used in a exclamatory statement like this, in a I'm forgetting the word now. It's an not an interjection, but in an exclamatory statement, telling an imperative. Sorry, there it is. In an exclamatory imperative like this, when you're telling someone justo na, it means stop it or quit it, right? Stop what you're doing or quit what you're doing, right? It's saying that. It has that connotation. Justo na. And it makes sense because justo has this meaning here, an underlined black just. That's enough, right? Enough already. Justo na, which can translate to that's enough. That's just enough. Enough already. Stop it. Okay, it has that connotation. So feel free to use that expression to say enough already. Stop it. Okay, because you've had enough. You can't handle anymore. Justo na. So that's the thing I want to talk about with justo. And lastly, we have labi, right? Labi is an adverb, but it can also act like a verb. Remember, Cebuano has that characteristic of doing that to its non-verbs. Labi, listen up because there's a lot I need to explain about labi, especially this last part. So labi can mean especially. It's an adverb, right? Especially, even. The Cebuano word for mas, right? It can express similar things with mas. Very as an adverb, though. Very as an adverb. And lastly, it stresses favorability, right? So it stresses favorability. And you will see that through these sentences. Notice how it stresses favorability. That's the number one thing you need to keep in mind with labi. The first sentence goes, sige kag ubo-ubo, labi na sa resistansya nimo nga hinay kaayo. Right, you keep coughing. Sige kag ubo-ubo, comma. You keep coughing, comma. Labi na sa resistansya nimo nga hinay kaayo, especially, right? Especially to your resistance, right? Your resistance, resistansya nimo, your resistance, resistansya nimo nga, that is, right? Sa resistansya nimo nga hinay kaayo, especially to your resistance that which is hinay kaayo is weak, right? Hinay means slow or weak, right? Hinay kaayo, it's frail, it's weak, very frail. Kaayo, very. So especially to your resistance, that's very frail, that's very weak, okay? Notice how it stresses favorability to the resistance, right? This person is coughing, right? This person is saying that you keep coughing and then stresses the favorability in that, oh, okay, especially with your resistance, watch out, okay? Especially with your resistance, watch out because it's pretty weak, right? It's quite weak. So, sige kag ubo-ubo, labi na sa resistansya nimo nga hinay kaayo, right? You keep coughing, especially to your resistance, that's very weak, okay? This second example is, nagpalabi siyag inom, okay? Nagpalabi siyag inom. And this means he's drinking a lot, right? He keeps drinking a lot. It could be like drinking alcohol or whatever, right? But it's just, he keeps drinking a lot. It's stressing that favorability of drinking a lot. Okay, nagpalabi, that you keep doing something non-stop, right? Uy, nagpalabi siyag inom. Uh-oh, that's kind of concerning. So it translates to something like he's drinking too much. He's drinking too much or a lot. Okay, it's stressing that favorability of that action. That's doing the drinking of a lot. And lastly, we have ayaw palabii ang imong hilak. So ayaw palabii ang imong hilak, which means don't don't cry too much, right? Don't cry too much. So ayaw, right? Palabii ang imong hilak. Ang imong hilak is like you're crying. Don't cry too much. It's stressing their favorability of crying too much. So don't stress the favorability of crying too much. Ayaw palabii ang imong anak. Don't cry too much. Imong hilak, sorry. Imong hilak. Don't cry too much. So that's part of this whole transitory expressions.